rats, 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 rats. I'm talking, guys, this place was infested with rats. Yee, guys, welcome back to the channel. We got some explaining to do.
Oh, a lot of explaining to do.
And you guys deserve to know. I'm sure all of you guys are wondering, our past couple videos on this channel have all been filmed in our hometown back in Florida.
We're actually home right now.
And the reason for that is I'm just gonna straight up say it. We moved out of the house in LA. We no longer live there. And we're back home right now.
This is the house we're talking about that we moved into about 2 to 3 months ago. We were planning on staying there for a full year, but some things changed, plans changed.
A lot of stuff went down behind the scenes, and in this video, we're basically gonna tell you guys why we ended up moving out. We have some crazy plans for 2022. We're gonna talk about that in the next video. This is basically
explaining why we moved out, what happened.
The reasons, and there's a lot of reasons why. Let's get into it. Oh. So to start it off, one of the biggest reasons why we moved out is we just weren't on the same page with everyone in the house. And by everyone, I mean Jack Doherty, because everyone else in the house, if you guys don't know, there was 5 people moved in. 2 of them moved out within the first month of us even being there. 1 of them moved out before we even got there. So it just ended up being us, Jack Doherty, and his filmer. And we just weren't on the same page about everything. We wanted to take our channel this direction, me and Nick. Jack was kind of going in this direction, which we didn't necessarily
disagree on. Like, he was doing his own thing.
But we didn't want to be associated with kind of the things he was doing.
And also, me and Ricky, we were so focused on our channel, IBP, and then the vlogs. And Jack was focused on his channel, which left very little time for doing stuff together.
Because we were gonna start a podcast together. It was supposed to be like a content house team, but he was focused on himself, we were focused on us, like it should be, and there just ended up being no cohesion, like no togetherness in a way.
But me and Ricky are still starting podcasts. We're actually sitting on the set of it right now.
There's so much, bro. There's literally so much that went down behind the scenes in LA of why we're not there.
Why we moved out, what happened. What were the issues? Why did we move out?
Because I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, wait, you guys were supposed to move there for a year. You guys are already back home. It's only been 2 months. Yep. And there's reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of juice,
We're saving that. The link to that will be in the top of the description. And everybody go subscribe to that.
Because that's where we'll go full in depth even more. This video isn't gonna even scratch the surface of what went down. The podcast though will go crazy. We're literally on set right now. We got the lights all over here. We got the cameras, we got everything. And our plans for 2022 are actually crazy. So if you wanna go check out the podcast, go check it out.
And that is where we will be going even more in depth on this whole situation, because if we were gonna break down every single detail, this video would be like an hour long. We're just gonna kind of keep it the main points of why we moved out.
So instead of trying to force things and build this team together that we eventually knew was gonna split up after the year for sure, we just kind of made the call and said it's better to go our separate ways.
Me and Ricky were focused on our stuff, Jack's focused on his stuff, and we were kind of just living together, but not as a team.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Reason number 2.
Reason number 2 being the house. And by the house, I mean the amount that we were paying for what we were getting. If we're being honest, the house wasn't that good. The backyard was dope, and that's pretty much it. The inside of the house was old, dark. It just wasn't
It wasn't the best house, especially for what we were paying for it. And the plan was, when me and Ricky originally planned on moving in there, the rent was to be split 5 ways. Me, Ricky, Jack, Solo Flow, which was another person that was there, and then there was an investor YouTuber who ended up leaving before me and Ricky even got there. So that bumped all of our rents up more.
And then Jack and Solo Flow, before we even got out there, ended up having like animosity and started like hating each other. They would call us about it, talk to us, be like, yo, I don't like Solo. And then Solo would be like, yo, don't believe what Jack's saying. It just started, there was so much drama before Nick and I even got out there. They already started having like roommate problems and drama back and forth. So Nick and I ended up moving out there, and within a month, Solo Flow was out. So that already increased the rent from me and Nick paying 2/5 of the rent to paying 2/3 of the rent. and paying literally 66% of everything.
And rent for the house, we're not gonna say it on here, we'll probably say it in the podcast, but it was absurd. It was ridiculous.
For what we were getting. The amount that we were paying for the house was absurd for what we were getting. We sat down and talked to each other, and we were like, dude, if we use this money towards our videos, if we use this money towards an Airbnb, coming soon. So after the other two left, we took a minute to really think about the amount of money that we were paying for this house and the amount that we could do with our videos. If we spent it on our videos, on traveling, on Airbnbs, we could do the craziest stuff with the amount that we were paying for this house that, if we're being honest, was just like not that good of a house. And it was just, the only reason why it was so much is because it was in Rodeo, Beverly Hills.
And we didn't even really film in the house too much. Like in our videos, we don't really film at our house.
We're always out, we're always exploring, we're always doing adventure stuff. We don't really use the house, and it didn't make sense for us.
And when we say that rent was a lot, I'm talking over 5 figures every single month.
Just for me and Nick.
Just for me and Ricky. But we'll tell you the actual figure on the podcast.
Oh, go check the pod. All the details gonna be on the pod.
Link in the
I'm telling
description.
you. The podcast is gonna blow up.
YouTube and Spotify. First episode coming soon.
Literally, and by coming soon, we ain't capping like all these other dudes. Coming soon and it never comes. I'm talking within a week, you guys will have the first episode of the podcast. I put everything on that. So make sure you click the link in the description and subscribe to the podcast, because this story and all the other stories behind the scenes that we've never told before in our 6 years of YouTube, even our whole entire lives, the stories that we've gone through.
Crazy stories.
Like, we have so many stories we've never told on YouTube. It'll all be laid out on the podcast. 100% real, 100% raw. And I'm telling you guys, the podcast is gonna blow up. And you guys are gonna see us in a different way than you've never seen us before. So go over there, subscribe if you wanna be in the first 100,000 subscribers, I'm telling you.
But that pretty much wraps it up for point number 2, is the bang for your buck factor. What we were paying for what we were getting, it didn't make any sense. When it was split 5 ways, even that didn't honestly make sense.
But then when it was split 3 ways and Nick and I were 2/3 of those ways, it made absolutely 0 sense. If I'm being honest, it was losing sense. It was losing dollars.
You're not making sense.
It was losing sense, bud. Not sense like the mind, sense like money. Oh, I'm on another level. Point number 3. Point number 3, and maybe the most disgusting reason, definitely the most disgusting reason, is rats, 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 rats. I'm talking, guys, this place was infested with rats.
Hate to say it.
I'm just being honest. We are not the dirtiest of people. Like, we kept that house pretty clean. Everyone in the house, Jack, everyone is pretty organized.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we're a bunch of like
slobs. It wasn't like a frat house where there's trash everywhere, food left out.
All of our rooms were very organized, very clean, and yet still there was rats.
This is what we were talking about when what we were paying for what we were getting. We're paying all this money and the house was infested.
If you're paying $1,000 a month, you don't want to have any problems. Let alone having rats in your house should be at the very bottom. You shouldn't even have to think about that.
And I don't think it was a problem with how we were even living. I think it was a problem with the house itself, because Jack got an exterminator to the house. He had the whole house checked out, and right after the exterminator came, Jack caught like 5 rats the next day.
He's really trying. Yo, stop. Hey!
Literally, there would be mornings Jack and us would set out traps, wake up in the morning, and there would be 3 rats on one trap. We would see rat poop in the corner. We would see rat poop in the cabinet. Jack literally probably caught like 20 to 30 rats, he said.
That dude was getting kill streaks on those guys.
Like, literally, like, if Jack didn't like put all those traps out, that place would have been overrun. There would have been hordes. There's literally one story. I'm not gonna go in too much detail. I'll save that for the podcast. But one morning I walked in the living room and I see 5 rats going, and then they just ducked into like a little vent.
Yo.
And then they're just disappeared.
Shout out to Jack for setting those traps, because without him, there would be hordes.
And there already was hordes. There was crazy amounts. It was disgusting. And when you're, again, like I'm saying, when you're paying $1 a month, you want everything to be nice, clean. All you want to do is
it should be.
You just want to wake up, be like, yo, everything is nice, everything's clean. All we wanted to do was focus on our videos, but this just added like another layer of reason to move out.
So with all of these things combined, us paying astronomical amount of rent for getting very little, bunch of rats. Honestly, a little bit of a health concern with all the rat poop, and they were even in the vents, and the air is literally blowing.
I'm gonna play a clip right now. This is its tail right here, and you can see it disappear in the vent. And with all that being said, the rats, the cost of what we were getting for what we were paying, Jack and us just going in a different direction, just the whole thing, we decided was best for us to move out.
We could have made it work and figure it out, but we just knew it would be the best thing to move on and do what was best for us and start moving in that direction instead of going up here and then once the lease is over, we're just gonna have to just forget whatever we built and then start again.
Yeah. Just splitting our separate ways, letting Jack go do whatever he wants to do. We go do whatever we want to do and just say, man, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Ooh, it is what it is.
The #1 podcast in the game, link in the description. A lot of stuff coming in 2022. Woo-hoo-hoo! The next video will be explaining what the future is and where we plan on going in 2022, who we're going with, the future of IVP.
Buckle up, get ready.
Cause it is what it is.
And until next time,
It is what it is.
yee yee. Woo! Bing bong. Ooh, look at this setup we got. Okay, we got a mic here, we got a mic here, we got the lighting. Oh man, we taking it serious. We even got this thing. I don't even know what this thing is, but we got it. Ooh.
We're about to move. Aren't we about to move though?
Oh, we're about to move? Oh, wait.
Again? Not to LA. Where are we going?
Dude, y'all gotta subscribe and find out.
And that is where we will go. And that is where,
Wait, where are we going, bro?
and that is where we will go. And that is where we will be.
My gosh, oh Lord.